Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on attribution theory. Before we proceed any further, please do note that we publish 3 videos daily on YouTube. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's start with what is the attribution theory. Justifying behavior and action with reason is encouraged among humans. Attribution, according to social psychology, is when individuals justify the reasons for events and conduct. Attribution theory deals with the interpretation of events by individuals and their correlation to their mindset and conduct. Attribution theory refers to the models that describe this process. Moving on to the application of attribution theory. Fields like law, mental health domains, education, clinical psychology use Wiener's theory extensively. Achievement and self-perception are strongly correlated. In 1980, according to Wiener, causal attributions determine effective reactions to success and failure. In the 1990s, the implementation of attribution theory in fields related to healthcare was discussed by Daltrey and Lewis. In 1996, Daly gave a fascinating instance of its implementation in career development. He analyzed employees' attribution concerning failure in receiving promotions. Moving on to the history of attribution theory. Fritz Heider is a Gestalt psychologist referred to as a father of attribution theory of the early 20th century. Heider pitched the psychological attribution theory in 1958. However, a theoretical structure was then formed by Wiener and his colleagues that is now used as a big research standard in social psychology. An individual's tendency to figure out the reason for something that they have done is the basis of the assumption in attribution theory, that is, assign reasons to conduct. In 1974, the focus of Wiener's attribution theory was on achievement. Luck, effort, task difficulty, and ability were recognized by him as the most vital factors influencing attribution with respect to achievement. Moving on to the stages of attribution. While a person tries to understand the causes of another person's behavior, more than one reason may be found responsible for that conduct. The process of attribution has 3 stages. First, observation. The behavior must be noted firsthand by the individual. This involves viewing the surroundings, actions, and reactions of other people in the circumstances. Second, belief. The individual must assume that the action or conduct was intentional and not mechanical or accidental. And finally, cause. An individual's reasoning and belief must be put to use while deciding whether the reason for the conduct was an internal attribution factor or an external one. The reason will be attributed to the surroundings or circumstances if the conduct is unintentional. In case it being intentional, it would be attributed to instigators, internal traits, beliefs, or requirements. Moving on to characteristics of the attribution theory. 3 informal dimensions or characteristics are used to classify Wiener's achievement attributions. They are: first, stable theory; second, locus of control; and third, controllability. The expectations of a person's future are affected by stability. A person's tenacity on a project is linked with control, and the controllability or causability affects the emotional reactions towards the result of a task. Let's look at them briefly, starting with locus of control. This is explained as a belief of learners where they think that their conduct is influenced by external or internal reasons. Locus of control directly affects the emotions involved with the attribution. Example: a sense of achievement is felt by employees on acing an interview they think they have prepared for. This sense of achievement would not be felt if the interview was believed to be simple or acing it was attributed to luck. Moving on to the second, stability. The probability of the attribution cause changing as time passes. These are examples where the outcome can be changed over time by adjusting conduct. As in, a person failing a dance competition can be attributed to lack of practice. However, the outcome may be changed in the future if the person practices, learns further, and participates again. And third, controllability. It is directly linked to the perception of a person with respect to control over the conduct, circumstance, or action. Example: a participant might give up in a competition where he thinks the judges are biased towards other players. He might think winning is not in his hands and might stop putting in the effort. Moving on to the types of attributions. Dispositional, that is internal cause, and situational, that is the external cause, are the 2 main types of attribution. Let's look at dispositional attribution. The internal traits of a person are assumed to be the reason for the conduct in dispositional attribution. Internal reasons like personality traits are sought while describing other people's conduct. This is called a fundamental attribution error. Example, the conduct of a person is attributed to their beliefs, intentions, or character. Next, situational attribution. This is the procedure of allocating reasons of conduct to circumstances or affairs outside the individual's control instead of internal traits. We tend to justify our behavior through external attributions like surrounding or circumstantial features. Moving on to bias and errors in the attribution theory. People tend to be pulled into traps of mistakes and biases while seeking causes for conduct. According to Fritz Heider, our perceptions of causality are often distorted by our needs and certain cognitive biases. The examples of attribution biases are: first, fundamental attribution error. The practice of attributing explanations based on disposition or personality to conduct instead of considering external factors is explained by fundamental attribution error. It is the most evident when individuals explain and presume others' behavior. Example, a person stammering amidst a crowd may immediately be assumed to because of nervousness instead of being attributed to a medical condition. Next, cultural bias. When the cultural beliefs and practices of a person are assumed and attributed to their conduct, it is known as cultural bias. An example of culture bias is a dichotomy of individualistic and collectivistic cultures. The striking difference between individualistic and collectivistic cultures is the main bias here. And finally, the self-serving bias. Attributing internal and dispositional explanations to achievements and uncontrollable and external explanation to failure is self-serving bias. Example, passing a test because of hard work, that is internal and controllable attribute, and blaming the failure of the test on the incompetence or personal grudge of teachers is uncontrollable or an external attribute. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on the attribution theory. These are some of the sources and links referred to for the conduct in the video. These are some of the sources and links for the content in the video. If you have liked the video, do subscribe to our channel where you will witness 3 new videos daily. Additionally, if you want to view these videos in an organized manner, you can visit freecourses.net, where all our videos are arranged in the form of courses. Thank you and see you in the next video.